Do I look okay?
I'm gonna give like the cheesiest intro in the world. Just all right. Harpreet Singh, known professionally as Happy Singh, is an American rapper, singer, music producer, and songwriter from Los Angeles, California. His journey has been one of incredible transformation. He essentially started his life over at 25 and within 6 months started releasing his own music while opening up for artists like Jeremiah, Tyga, Yo Gotti, and more. His music has now amassed millions of streams. His life is one I am so excited to dive into because of how remarkable his attempts are to do this music thing sober and happy while still making club party anthems, which is badass. So Happy, welcome to What Happened Last Night.
Wow, that was an intro.
That was right.
I had no idea that was going to happen, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here. I wanted to start with like Little Happy.
Okay,
Okay.
let's do it.
You grew up in LA. What was your first intro into music? Like, what was like, oh, I think I want to do this, or I like this, and being creative.
Never saw a studio setup. It was at my friend's house. His older brother had a studio setup, and my parents were really strict. They're like kind of like they're okay with me going over to my friend's house if they knew their parents
Mm.
from before. So it was like an Indian household. So when I saw someone that looked like me, and he was doing something that I've never seen, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like he usually we're like doctors, lawyers, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
he was a nurse, but when I saw that, I said, "What is that? Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
And that's how I was introduced. That I remember standing in his living room and looking at his studio setup, and I'm like, "What is that?"
Oh my God.
And I went home, and I just like Googled home studio software,
Yeah.
and FL Studio popped up, and I just downloaded it, and then now here we are.
FLC, like Fruity Loops?
Fruity Loops,
Oh
yeah.
my God, Fruity Loops. I forgot Fruity Loops
Yeah.
existed. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but like your parents were, you grew up in like a very traditional Indian family, you would say then?
Yeah.
Or were they like, mine were like throwing parties. They weren't
Mm.
traditional at all.
Um, my mom was more like she's more on the religious side. My dad's more on the party side.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's where I get my balance from.
Yeah.
Um, but my dad he likes to drink and party, and my mom was the one who'd be like, okay, it's enough. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
time to
yeah.
go to bed now. So
That's how my parents are
yeah,
too, yeah.
so we would have parties and stuff. I remember like we were younger, but as we got older, we kind of stopped. But it wasn't too strict. It was more strict on like get your life together, get your shit together. We came from this. This is the part of the world we came from. This is how
Yeah.
much work we put in. So make it worth it for us making these.
Yeah, for us
For,
like immigrating
yeah,
here and
yeah.
doing it. I feel like one thing you touched on that was like what I have said and had conversations about many times is like the lack of when you're South Asian in America or just in general, like most parents are trying to get you to be a lawyer or a doctor, an engineer, and I feel as if that's the reason why we have a big lack of um, creatives in
Mm-hmm.
pop culture, whether
Yeah.
it be film, TV, music, models, magazines. And I grew up in Orange County. Where in LA did you grow up?
Out here.
In
And
LA,
yeah, yeah,
LA.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God, crazy. So
Yeah.
you were like here the whole
Yeah,
time.
I was here the whole
I
time.
grew up in Orange County, so like growing up with like the Abercrombie and Fitch
Oh, that's awesome.
Hollister thing, I think a lot when I was researching your story, like I felt a lot of the same things. Like I felt like, and I don't know if this was it for you, but I felt like it wasn't necessarily that I wanted to fit in. I just felt like there wasn't a representation of me around in school or like definitely pop culture at the time with
Mm-hmm.
like the OC and like I don't know, Laguna Beach High and
Oh
all the
yeah.
crazy reality TV that was going on at that time. And it definitely made me do a lot of the same things you did
Mm-hmm.
and kind of rebel and
Mm-hmm.
try to be a cool kid when it was, I don't know. So, can you tell me like about your initial background of um, why you started getting into the party space and what that was like for you?
Party space. Honestly, it was kind of like as I got older. Um, you get different responsibilities. You get a car. You get this and that. You got money in your pocket. So doors started opening. People started gravitating towards me. People who didn't have cars. People who didn't have money. Who
Yeah.
needed rides and stuff like that. One thing led to another. Yo, you want to go here? You want to go there? And it was kind of a domino effect. And then as you know, I was partying. Like I was already introduced to alcohol before, so I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, let's put one and one together. And uh, one friend would introduce me to some type of drug, the other friend would introduce me to a different type of drug. And they know I didn't like to smoke weed. I don't like downers, so I wanted stuff that just had me bouncing off of walls.
Yeah.
So I was on like 100 every day, and it was fun in the beginning, and then you're just kind of learning your body. You're like, okay, I drank this much. Next day I'm gonna feel like this. I just gotta do it again. Gotta do drink water, do it again, blah blah. But then the drugs kind of started taking over, and it was crazy, but it was fun. I would never not go through it because the experience made me the man I am today.
Yeah. I mean, I watched your documentary.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
You saw me cry?
Yeah.
Yeah. My dad cried too.
Yeah.
He looked like he was about to sneeze, and I'm like, why is he making that face? I'm like, oh my God, he's crying. Everyone's gonna think he was wanting to sneeze.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's emotional for all of us because
Yeah.
they seen where I was.
The trajectory of what
Yeah.
you've done and how you've like completely flipped it.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that stood out to me is really like you saying like I just wanted to be anything but myself.
Yeah.
And like where was that coming from? Was it coming from the being South Asian, or what was that for you?
Yeah, just not being accepted. I felt like every time I came into a room, like people would handshake me and say what's up, but I could tell like they didn't like me. And some people let me know they didn't like me, but I wasn't doing anything in my life where I had that pull, so I
Yeah.
can be like, don't treat me like that. I felt like if you thought that of me, that's really what I am.
Yeah.
Because why are you treating me like that?
Yeah.
It must be true,
Wow.
So, just trying to find my place, just trying to find out who I was. It was hard because I was always told who to be, as we all are. As we're children, we're told who to be. We have to listen to our parents. They're chosen for us, and there are guardian angels. And I feel like you're just chosen to be in a certain household because that's who you're supposed to be. But you're supposed to be those two people, but you're supposed to be your own version of it.
Yeah.
You take the good out of it. And your parents make the mistakes, you learn, you watch, and you're like, okay, don't do that.
Yeah.
So, not wanting to be myself, that was like, every time I sobered up, I was just like this calm, like just like how I am right now, just like this. But like everybody would look like they were winning. And I'm like, and then I'll try that fast way of winning, like, go to as many studios as I can, parties, talk to people. Like, no, that wasn't for me. That might be for them.
Yeah.
But it wasn't for me. So that's when I was being introduced to finding who I was by trying different things. And by doing that comes a lot of lessons, a lot of failures, a lot of pain. A lot of people don't want to go through that.
Yeah. I mean, addiction is something like I can relate to.
Yeah.
And it has been like, I think for me, it was using it as a way to validate.
Mm-hmm.
And I would do it with music too. Like there was a point where like I would tour India and I would get on stage just to have everyone tell me how good I was when I got off, And I think we all do that, but it's all coming from like a reason, like what we're trying to fill. And in that, was it, other than you just exploring yourself, like do you feel like you were trying to fill something or validate something?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, ever since I was in like middle school, I'll look out at elementary. I'm just like, I'm not supposed to be around these walls. Like I felt locked up my whole life, and I'll look outside and I'm just like, I want to be in that car that's just driving by. I don't want to be here. That's when I started ditching, and I realized the school system, like, I would be getting A's and I was in honors and all these things, and I'm like, bro, I'm not even retaining anything. Like this is all. Can I cuss?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just like, yo, I can't even, this is all bullshit. Like I was like playing the system so well. My parents like, just do good. I'm like, look, A's, and I'll go do whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
So I just knew I just had something different in me. And how are you going to tell someone who doesn't fit in saying, hey man, I'm different, I'm special, I got to do something big in this world, and everyone already looking at you funny.
Yeah.
And now you're just like, no, you're telling yourself lies. Stop.
Yeah.
Like, be realistic. What people say, right? Be realistic.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I'm realistic, I'm being realistic. I'm nothing now.
Yeah.
I don't got a degree. I dropped out of high school. I'm a drug addict. I've been to prison or jail. I got felonies. If you look at my track record, like I was backed up. I was failing in life.
Yeah.
And people who are like 25, they're getting married, they got a bachelor's, they're buying a house. And I'm barely about to reset my life. I didn't even know I was about to reset my life. I was just like, dude, I'm comparing myself to others. I just felt more and more. I'm like, I do not want to be myself right now.
Yeah.
I just, and that's the sucky part of social media, that the whole comparison shit. No,
Totally.
we all do it, but that was like the beginning stage. Like we didn't, you don't know what's happening until after. You're like, oh damn, I need to stop this. This is not making me feel good.
Yeah.
No, I was way too in deep. I had no idea what was going on.
Okay, so what was the catalyst to you changing? How did you change? That's fucking hard, dude.
Oh man, so this is something I never really share. I don't really share my faith with people because people have a different interpretation of God and they have their own faith and their own religions, and I have respect for everyone's spirituality. Whether you're an atheist, I have to understand why you believe the way you do, because I was that when I was in 8th grade. I was like, there's no God. So I was at 2016 in January. I went ahead and just walked up to Shepherd of the Hill Church. I went by myself and I'm like, I'm going to get baptized. So I got baptized. I did not know it's like a big thing you're supposed to do with your family. I just went by myself, got baptized in January. And that year is the same year my whole life changed.
And you just did that out of just sheer, just like, I'm gonna do this and just
Giving myself to God. I mean, when I was locked up, they give you a mat and a Bible. So that's when I first was, given like a holy book, and I went ahead and opened it. And my experience in jail was actually not as bad as the other guys.
Yeah.
I was like, moving up somehow and being more protected, and I was around the right people, and they were just, even the inmates were like, yo, you don't belong in here, but we're gonna protect you. Like, if there's a fight that happens, we'll make sure like you the last one we have to jump if we got to jump you. And I'm like, damn, like I appreciate that. But yeah, that's when I was, I was just like, it was like God had to, almost take me through that. So he put me against the wall, and like he was just like, no one's around. What are you gonna do now?
Yeah.
And so I said, I remember I sobered up from meth and alcohol and cigarettes for like a week. I just quickly went. I remember I took my parents' car, went up. And I mean, 4 months later, I still went through. I went even harder. I went so hard, like it was it. I was 110 pounds. I was about to die. Like my pants wouldn't stay up. Like I was hanging out with trappers. I was going to the house. I saw what they were doing. I saw shotguns, this and that. I was like, oh, like I'm in the devil's house. This is real shit. Like you see it in movies. No, it's real. And the crazy thing is, these people were my neighbors. They're like 5 houses down, 10 houses down. I had no idea.
Wow.
They got these dogs trained. They got girls running in and out. They got people coming. They're doing all that. So I was like, okay. So I experienced all that, and I said I didn't want it anymore, And that same year, that's the only thing I've ever done different. I tried everything. I prayed to rocks. I prayed to, all the other gods.
Yeah.
I prayed and I tried, and that's the only thing that catches my eye. Every time I look back, I said, what changed that year? Why? Like, what was it? And it was that. In January 2016, I got baptized.
Wow.
And my life changed.
And this whole time was like your family aware all of this was going on? Or
I was chilling with the devil. They were just like, however it happened, we're happy. You sobered up. You have something that protected. They saw where I was. Like, I was walking around. I had like a machete in my backpack because I didn't have a gun at the time. And I'm just like, and good thing I didn't.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I was like, I was acting crazy. Like I was robbing people. I was doing like, like I was not a good person. I was lost. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, so this is what the music people talk about. This is what you gotta do. Like, let's do this. And then people were looking at me like, you're too much. Like,
do you feel like it was because you were kind of in hip hop? Was that a reason why you were like, I need to like live up to this genre?
Yes.
I guess in a way.
Absolutely.
Gnarly.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
But I mean, were you making music that whole time?
Yeah.
About all those things?
I was. That's all I did. So if I wasn't out trying to make money to buy drugs and alcohol, I was working on music.
Wow.
And my parents, they were making sure that I had a roof over my head and food. But there was a lot of times they didn't open the door for me. So I was like, I had to figure it out. I remember one time I was on the sidewalk. I was walking home because I didn't have anywhere to go. So I'm walking and I'm just like on the sidewalk, and I just remembered that I'm waking up and there's someone kicking me.
Yeah.
And I'm passed out on the sidewalk on the main street with my backpack, everything in there. And there's these two people. It was an Asian guy and like a Hispanic lady. And they're like, we thought you were dead.
Oh my God.
And they're like, get in the car. We're going to take you. Like, we're going to get you some food. I was dressed dope. I had a Letterman on. I had a New York hat. I had had a backpack on because all my stuff was in there. I looked like a normal person. Then I was like, how did I fall asleep here? What happened? And I just remember those two people forever. I mean, if you guys are watching, I appreciate you guys for looking out for me. But I'm like, if you are a good person, like, God will protect you. Like, you will be like he's gonna be like, if you don't listen, yeah, you're gonna go through it because you need to
Yeah.
learn. But my parents, they saw it all, and they're cool with me for believing in Jesus and letting him just help me out, man. That's what I've
Yeah.
been putting my faith in.
I mean, I think all of it, I've honestly, like, low key have been watching a lot of, like, Russell Brand and all these really interesting, and it all is, like, finally sitting with yourself and,
Hmm.
like, being in the silence and not trying to prove and not trying to be
Yeah.
perceived and all of those things. And through sober, I mean, I'm sure it was fucking hard getting sober. And I'm sure you had many different avenues to help you with that or try to navigate
No, I
that.
tried. Even when I sobered up the last time, I was like, okay, like how long is this
Time
gonna
gonna
last?
last,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And no, it was like, again, nobody accepted me for me when I was messed up. So now I'm sober, and I'm gonna do what works for me. So whoever accepts me or not, it does not matter. I found myself. I'm happy with myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell my story, not yours, not yours. This will work for me. So if anybody's out there that needs to know, hey, I haven't tried that, try it. It's free. Like when I see my mom and dad or other people like around, they're paying to get blessed, or like they're paying these spiritual people to do things for. I said, God does not charge you to have a relationship with Him.
Yeah.
Like the people like, how do you get close to God? How do you get close to your friends? You create a relationship. You start
Yeah.
talking to them. You start praying. You start getting close and stuff. So when I started doing that, man, it was crazy because that's the last thing I ever thought I had to
You would
do.
do,
No,
yeah.
I was like, that ain't real. I would cuss out. I'm like, what are you? Like, look at me. Like, you
Yeah.
real God? Like, what? Like, I would be, I mean, my whole neighborhood saw me wilding out.
Yeah.
But no,
Well,
it's
thank you for
crazy.
talking because I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it.
Yeah.
And even if they go through it, there's like a stigma over like I'm ashamed of this or I need to keep it my own anonymous in a lot of
Mm.
ways so that people don't know that I was this person. But it's so important because I think all of us have everyone's addicted to something and everyone is running away from something or trying to
Absolutely.
heal from something. And it can show in the way you eat food. It can show
Yeah.
in like the way you watch Netflix.
Yeah.
But it can also show in the totally opposite, which is obviously not okay because you don't want to kill yourself or hurt your body. But I think everyone has something. And when they hear someone who goes through all of that, and a lot of the time also in my mind, it's like that people it's not to feel sorry about it, but it was like self-imposed.
Yeah.
And it's like, and especially as artists, we're
Yeah.
feeling things on a totally different level. Um,
Yeah.
well, I'm just so happy that you happy
Thank you.
are sharing about it too, because I think it's so important. What through sobriety, what have you learned?
I learned you got to learn how to have patience. As my boy Dr. Zeus told me, he's like, patience is another word for God. He said, it's the way we all have to wait for something. We're
Yeah,
always waiting. We're waiting to graduate. We're waiting to get married. We're waiting for kids. We're waiting for a job. We're waiting for money, get a house, this, that.
mm,
We're always waiting. It's how do you wait? That's what I'm learning now. Being sober is learning how to wait, be patient. You ask for big
mm,
things, you got to wait. You ask the universe, you ask God, you got to learn how to wait. The bigger it is, the smaller it is, the quicker it comes. And you can set 100 small goals to get to that big one, or you do what I do. I set a big one and I'm just waiting for it. And in that
yeah,
process, I'm learning to be the right person. I chose to be a leader. I chose to be out there, so I want to be a good role model for the kids that look like me and the ones that don't look like me. Because
yeah,
some of them don't look like me, but they feel like me. So whoever this is supposed to get to, that little feel, like when I saw my boy's brother's studio, like that was it. That's all that I needed to trigger me.
yeah,
Someone that kind of looked like me or felt like me and want to do something different. And he changed the whole, my whole life. And I always tell him, man, I'm like, yo, it's because of, you're one of the
wow,
reasons why I'm here. But if I really think about it, like God made me be friends with that person for a
yeah,
reason.
yeah,
He chose everyone in my life, and I always felt like I had some type of protection over me. I was going through life, but again, I was like, "Nah, you crazy, bro. Why are you protected and not that person that just died? Why
yeah,
are you so?" We all have different reasons to be living in this world, and being sober and seeing that every day is crazy. Because even being at the clubs, I see people drinking. I could tell if you came to have a good time, and I could tell if you're going through something.
yeah,
And I have people come to me like, "Yo, how'd you stop?" And I try to tell them, my the way it worked for me. And so being sober is just being, seeing life for what it truly is,
yeah,
and just manning up, looking in the mirror, and be like, "This is who you are. This is what you look like. You know, you are loved, you are beautiful, you are great, and now go put that energy into yourself. Don't go out there and put it into drinks and drugs or pity parties or into the bad relationships where you see these people are messing you over and you still friends with them. Nah, put it all into yourself, and it's going to be the most loneliest thing you're going to do, but it's going to be the most biggest blessing you're going to do for yourself.
Mm. Well, I'm like, okay. I'm like, not gonna cry. Not gonna happen. Okay. Well, I want to ask two things. After what, from what I've read, it's like you became sober, you made this huge, massive, massive life transformation.
Mm-hmm.
And then 6 months later, you know, you're like putting out all this music and the success came.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, well, that's like, to me, that's too, like,
It was too quick.
that's too much.
So
What happened?
I
What
never
actually
I never
happened?
thought I was an artist. I
Okay.
always said I want to be in music, but I'm like I'm gonna be a producer. Like I'm not.
Oh,
I don't want to be in the spotlight. I want to be in the back, but I want to be in the scene.
yeah.
But I don't want the spotlight because every time I saw an artist, they're like everyone get away. Like it's all about me, and I was like that's not me. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like hey, how about everyone get in the picture? You should all remember this. Like let's all be great. But there's always that one person tries to jump in the front. That's when I'm like no.
Yeah.
Like we should all like have our time. I remember I was working with Ghost Cason and with like Murder Inc. I was writing for their artists, and I'm like, why am I writing for you guys? Why am I writing for all you? Like they didn't even give me credit. That's when I was like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, but you have to go through it. So I went ahead and did that. I said, no, you know what? I'm gonna write for myself. I'm gonna be an artist. And then when I made that decision, it was scary as shit because I didn't know what I was doing, but I know I wanted it. And it was that moment of just being by yourself and asking myself when I woke up to myself sober every day, like, what do you want to do, bro? You wake up with yourself every day. What do you want to do that makes you happy? Like you like snowboarding, you like beaches, you like partying, you like being out there, you like this. Like, how is this gonna make you? What career should you pick? You wake up every day and you love this. And I was like, I want to be an artist. I want to be around like being an artist. You're always around like parties, uplifted people, fun people, happy people. That's who I am.
Yeah.
That's my energy right there. That's where I get my energy from. And if you're down, I'm gonna make sure I do whatever I can to put you up because you in
Yeah.
front of me for a reason. So when I decided to be an artist, um, I mean, 2 months later, I'm opening up for Tyga at OHM Club in LA, and I'm like, what? Like, how is this happening? And
Yeah.
like, next thing you know, it's back to back to back. I'm opening up for this person, this person. I said, yo, this is crazy. And that's how it happened when I made that decision. I
Yeah.
never thought I was good enough to be an artist. You're gonna trust me. What's in your heart, you know what you're supposed to be. You have a feeling. You just don't say it because you feel like you don't sound crazy. People are like, not you. You can't do that. No, you can't. You
Yeah.
feel it because it's supposed to be. That's what you're supposed to do. Just don't tell people because then people are gonna tell you you can't, and then you're gonna sit back down,
Yeah.
depending on your personality. So, me, I was isolated, and then I was like, who do you want to be now? You get to start over.
Hmm.
And I'm telling you, that's it's again, it starts for me, it started with God. It wasn't something I did by myself. I tried to do it by myself. It didn't work. And you gotta lean on something that's real. That's like your family will let you down, your friends will let you down, everybody will let you down. You gotta lean on something that's sturdy and that would always be there through the good times and the bad times. I don't want to be the person that I know I'm going off topic, but
No, no, no.
I don't want to be the person that's dying, and then that's when I say, hey, God, where are you? Please give me some more time. I'm like, I'm going to use that same power with my tongue while I'm alive. And I'm going to say, hey, God, I need this. Hey, I need this. I need everything I have. I prayed for. I prayed for I asked for it. Some people say manifest, like pray on it, like ask for it, meditate on same stuff,
Yeah.
and yeah, man, I would see myself opening up. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have a mic in my hand, and I'm gonna go on stage, and I'm gonna have people like screaming, and everything I was envisioning, it started happening. And I was like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's how I ended up meeting up the twins, and then
And then the whole thing.
yeah.
Well, like, so, well, how have you been with, like, okay, first of all, fucking Tyga, for example, like, opening for him? Like, how were you managing not going back into your old ways around environments like that?
I was still too new being sober. I was enjoying what was happening.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. I mean, I feel like any career you go in, there's gonna be good and bad. There's gonna be,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I was pretty much just I didn't really care for it, you know. It's like, well, I was actually offered coke when I was at a party, but I remember I was like performing and I just got off stage and like I was just drinking a Sprite and I remember like someone like, yo, you want some coke? And I was like, no, I'm drinking Sprite. Like that's when I realized my head was not even about that. And I know it sounded hella my boy Khalid, he came, he's like, yo, he don't do that shit. Like back off. He was protecting me. Like they all did it, but they know like what would happen to me. So I was like, yo, that's crazy. That shit went right over my head. Like, so that's when I knew it wasn't gonna affect me anymore.
Yeah.
Like
cool.
I hurt myself with drugs, so I know I won't ever like do that.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So that's amazing. And
Thank
like
you.
applaud all of that. Like that's incredible. What are your I have two more questions. What is like your biggest advice to independent artists out there who are younger, who are hungry like you were?
Honestly, you could do it by yourself. When you do it by yourself, don't look for people to validate you. Validate yourself. Put in all the work yourself. Your dream, tell your story, your music, your craft. And then, because there's people that are going to relate to it, and then the right people will fall into your life. Me, I was trying to find people first, and then like show my talent. And then finally, when I did it on my own, then the right people came. So you for sure got to put in the work. I get this asked all the time, you know, how are you doing it? How do I find managers? I said, the way I did it, I made sure I made music that I absolutely loved. Yeah. Like I'll listen to that song every day. That's how I said, okay, if I could listen to it every day, I can perform it every day. Tomorrow it's a hit. You got to make sure you can perform it and you love it. And that's you and it's authentic. And then as I was like, this is the song. Then I started looking out for DJs and performing places. Like, how do I perform? I started capturing it. The audience, the way I was interacting, posting it, people getting attention. Like it was one step after the other. Yeah. But it's always making sure that don't skip the steps. You got to go one by one. And there's no rush. Like just you got it. You could do it by yourself, and again, the right people will fall in place.
Oh my god, I love that. Well, your music is so fire. First of all, I said this when you walked in. I was telling Peter too. Like all out yesterday, I was prepping for all the interviews, and I was like by the pool, like listening to Happy, and I fucking love it. What are you working on now? What's happening now?
Oh man, I feel like I got my feet wet being an artist. You know what I mean? Like that was like my demo run. Yeah. I gave it 100%. That was 100%. Happy that was that year. Yeah. Like every year I feel like, you know, it got bigger and bigger. And now I'm finally able to announce that I'm dropping my record with French Montana. Called Pablo.
What?
This spring, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Thank you.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I didn't expect.
I feel like we're like the first Indian artists who have songs with American rappers. Yeah, like in reality.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, other than like MIA.
Yeah, she's fire.
And Jay Sean, maybe. We're the next generation.
We are the next. We are like today's version.
We're the today's.
You know what I mean? There was Kobe's, and then there's LeBron's,
yeah.
and then there's like whoever's gonna be next. Like.
Yeah, which is so huge just for representation and all the things that I feel like we started this conversation that we're missing, that like we didn't get to see, and like.
Yeah, entertainment's huge for us. I mean, Bollywood, they're ragging up more money than Hollywood. We have so many festivals. We have Hollywood, Diwali. We have weddings are 3, 4, 7 days. Like we party.
Yeah.
We need entertainers. Yeah. We need like people who are really meant for this. And I feel like we're the ones who are starting that trend and opening those doors for them to be like, hey, it's okay to do this. You can do it.
Yeah, you can be creative. Yeah. Okay, well, I love it. Okay, we're going to do rapid fire. You ready?
Shit, you didn't tell me about that.
Oh, well, it's gonna happen. Are you fine with it?
Yeah.
Do I have your consent?
What do I do? What is rapid fire?
It's just random
fast questions, answer them quickest.
Yeah, nothing crazy. Right. It's literally like last thing you Googled.
Damn.
This is the fun part.
Damn, I don't know. What did I Google last? I think it was something for my dog.
It was something for his dog?
I think my dog was like throwing up, and I was like, is this deadly? Like, can my dog die like off of like little, I don't know.
Can my dog die?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your guilty pleasure now?
Guilty pleasure. Oh, sweets.
Sweets?
Yeah, my.
I want to like imagine you in like a top down, like listening to Taylor Swift or something.
Oh my god. Yeah, honestly, if it involves a PB&J, I'm down. Like, I love sweets.
Oh my god, that's funny. Okay, what's your type in terms of women?
I don't really have a type. I would just say as long as I mean, I'm into straight women and just beautiful, like curvy, smart, not like someone who can just do it without me having to tell them.
Yeah.
This might all just like really burn in my face tomorrow, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, what's your biggest pet peeve?
Fucking traffic. Today I realized that shit. I was fighting.
Traffic.
I was fighting my steering wheel, man. Yeah, traffic.
Yeah, traffic. I feel you. Me too. What's the hottest thing someone has ever said to you?
I really like your beard. I think that's my favorite. I'm looking around waiting for that compliment all the time.
Great.
So yeah, that's it.
That's funny. Okay, what's the sexiest piece of clothing you own?
My boxers from 6th grade.
What? 6th grade?
No,
Why
not
6th grade?
Sexiest piece of clothing? Probably like those silky like boxers, like every man got those. Like they're really tight, they're really uncomfortable, but you have them for a certain occasion. I don't know.
God. Okay, online dating or old school?
Old school.
Me too.
Hell yeah.
I can't do this whole like.
Online, I'll be married to 8 girls already. Like nah, bro.
Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, last one. What's your go-to move to impress someone?
Cooking.
Cooking.
Yeah.
Damn. Nice.
I win Peter's heart every time.
You win Peter's heart. Okay, well, we're gonna do the What Happened Last Night game.
Woo.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
So you have to tell me a story, something. You probably have so many fucking crazy stories. I'm not gonna know if they're true or false. Something crazy. I have to guess if it's true or false.
Okay.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm
okay.
scared.
I don't know if a lot of people. I don't know if you're gonna. Let's see if I can make this real or not. I don't know. So I have my car, and we were driving, and next thing you know, we get out, or my homie gets out. He runs into a 7-Eleven, robs it, gets back in, gets to another 7-Eleven, robs it. In the matter of 15 minutes, we rob 3 7-Elevens. We get chased by this white Peckerwood crackhead and his wife in a pickup. We're driving 90 miles per hour, passing every stop sign. We make a left going about 100 miles per hour, go straight into a gas station, completely total the car, almost hit the gas pump, but they had the metal things, ran out, and those people got us in their car, and then whatever we jacked, they jacked us. We got gunpoint because their niece was in there and she had heroin on her, so they're like, now the cops are going to check. So they're mad, and then we get jacked, and then they dump us somewhere in the streets. And as we're running, the cops find us. So I don't know. What do you think?
That's way too much detail. I don't know, Peter. Oh, this is hard. Because if I say true, that's so true. That totally happened to you. That totally would happen to you.
Yeah, that really happened.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
The police didn't buy it, but yeah.
Oh my God, that's funny.
They're like, so you got robbed. So like, where the money at? Like bro, like where is it exactly? You tell me. Yeah, no,
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.
I'm so happy we're friends, and like I cannot wait to see what you do next.
Thank you. Appreciate
with your
it.
career. And thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
On What Happened Last Night.
Thank you.